How you doing, Ralph here, Ralfy Customs. Back on with the twin rail swing arm for our car's high neck Sportster. Radio there, okay. So here's the standard one. We know that we've got to go wider each side, which we've already spaced the adjusters out for. And we know we want to go 4 inches longer from here. We want to keep this where it is for the wheel, just about, and then we're going to go 4 inches longer to give us room for the shocker mount on the front here, and then catch the front mounts, which we've already got machined up and in position. So we've had a quick measure and we can cut 4 bits of tube. Look, mind me working out, at 28 inches long, bend at 14, which is about where this is, yeah. And I'm not sure the degrees. What I'll do is measure between these and measure between the front ones and work out how much it's got to go across. Right, isn't it? Oh, there's a bit in it actually. But I'll do that and I'll mark it out on my bench here, on my bending bench, like so. So I will come along as far as I need to come, and then we will go in as far as we need to go in, and we'll mark it, and then we'll work the angle out from there. Off we go then. Get 4 bits of tube cut, 28 inches long, like fucking so. Come on, baby. Any minute now. Yeah. Right, so we've got the 4 at 28, there's a bend at 14, and I've worked it out to 11 degrees with the guesstimate, which is why we have a question mark. So they're cut and cleaned and marked. We've come back here, we know that from the swing arm pivot, which will represent it here like, with this 2-inch mark, to the bend and then back is 10 inches. I've had a measure, and I've marked it up, the difference, they're 2 inches each side they've got to come in, yeah, so that works out to me 11 degrees, and I've got a little template there. We'll get a bit of tube in the old fucking JD squared and have an oink on it and see where we go. Right, so we've got that all lined up. I'm not sure how well framed I am, but you can see what's going on. We've set the dial to 0, we've got guesstimating angle of the dangle dial, because it's not the most accurate thing in the world. And we're going to pull this through to 11 degrees, which is, oh fucking hell, just a tickle more than that. There we go. We'll have a look at that. We'll compare it to the marks on the bench and offer it up to the job. That should be about maybe a bit too much. Right, here we go. I'll try and show you what I'm on with. I've marked about 1 inch back to give a bit of a reference for how far forward this tube is, because it's obviously well over length, because I wanted a bit to play with. And I've worked out where it needs to be in relation to the edge of the bench, and it's 3 inches away. I can use that big square, but I can't show it you because I've not got 3 hands. Anyway, I can drop that on the middle of the pillbox, eyeball it to that line, come on you bastard, and see where it comes on the front. And I think that as near as fuck it is to swearing at that 11 degrees. So I'll get the others bent up, and then we'll look at trimming them to suit.
Don't forget folks, our Fuckstock stickers are now available in our Etsy store, link in the description below. Fuckstock, you know it makes sense.
Righto, that's them 4 done. Spot the odd one out, different batch, newer. It's just newer. Oh, there we go, look, there's the fucking CDS specs. Ain't it? So, what we can now do is line that up there, look, guesstimate that about right. Eyeball through there, like I just showed you, to make sure it's level. And then mark off on the angle of the dangle where it needs cutting to match that. Lesson learnt from last time is do the underneath first. Yeah, so do these bottom ones first because they get in the way else. But what you can do is mark this top one. I hope this makes sense. Use the top level here, look, to mark it. Mark through there where it needs to be trimmed off when that's about level with the end of the slot. Yeah. And then because of how it works, you can flip it over and it's going to be not a mile off for fucking under there, like. So you ain't got to worry about this fucking hitting your primary while you're trying to mark it and hanging out too much here and all that shit. So because it's all symmetrical, we can take this, we can flip it. Sack the fucking juggler. We can flip it and knock that big square off, which is not a thing you want to do, but then use it under there. Sorted. Right, and with one of them done, we can transfer that over to the other three, and then we've got that kind of roughed out. It needs to come forward a bit, but it does need a bit of a trim. But we've got that point of reference, so we can, if this, fuck off. When we get this trimmed down we need to be, we've got a starting point there. We can cut him off now and they'll be as roughed out as this is. So all it needs then is fucking notching and fluting for the front bits and the pillboxes, which we do the pillboxes on milling machine like. Righto, say that out, don't I? Okay chaps, so we've notched that end and now we need to notch this end. And how we will do that is we will trace around that pillbox with that pen and we will go over to that milling machine and we will cut a fucking slot out of it so it drops down about 10 mil. Yeah, ish. We'll have a look. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun a bit. Look, I'm forgetting that we're going to do the bottom ones first. So it's a bit more awkward to fucking line up and get right, like, especially one-handed, but you get the picture. That's going to drop in there like that. It's going to fit on there somewhere in the middle like that. Ooh, it's a bit of a balancing act. And it's going to be drawn around to cut out to go around this pillbox. I'll get another one done, so we've got two. I'm thinking I might revert to doing top first. Top first. The thing is, once this top one's in place, the bottom one's going to have to be chopped out quite a bit. It's going to have to slope into it because two don't go into one, right? Well, they do, but they're fucking, because of the angle of the dangle, you'll see what I mean. The bottom one needs a good fucking slice out of it anyway, so maybe get the top one on, both sides, and then have a butcher's at the bottom ones. What do you reckon? So, with that in place, and a straight edge from that across that bend running down, we can mark out where we need to pocket out to just drop it down. I just want to drop it onto that onto the pillbox. I think it'll look cool as fuck. That's what I did on the last one. It really added a lovely feature. So we've marked around it and we've marked the other one as well, and we have decided we're doing the tops first. So we're going to get over to the milling machine and get these slotted out, ready to drop in place. So here's the fucking setup, look. We've got a couple of parallels we're springing between to sit this on, and we're gripping it well above halfway, although it's sticking out quite a bit, it's sound. And then we put the fucking magic box on, the angle of the dangle finder, zeroed it on the vise, zeroed it on this end of it, and then we know that it ain't pissed up. So it's sitting nice and flat, and we're just going to machine that out. We'll touch on and then we'll guesstimate a depth, and we'll make a note of it, and we'll do them all the same. So yeah, dead simple. Right, so we've touched on, we're clamped down, we're touched on, we've zeroed our knee, and we're going to come up, let's go 80 thou, 2 mil. So we're going to come up 2 mil. Not sure how much we want, so I'm going to take a tentative cut, and we'll see how she lies. This will probably not quite break us through, so it's not going to be enough that way, like. But we can just rough that out, like so. once we get the depth, once we learn the depth of the wing, then it'll be a lot quicker. So just put that tuner off to start with. There we go. And then I think we'll go another 3 mil. So 1, 2, 3. So that's 5 mil in total. Maybe they even go a little bit more. I don't want it too low, I just want it to sit nice like. So I know we've got 5 mil and it's looking good. You know, I'm thinking another 3 for 8 mil. 8 mil's a nice figure. And it should sit lovely.
Let's have a look.
Yeah. I'm happy with that. So we'll write that down. Write that off, look. Rather loud, Ralfy, this morning. It's a Monday morning, sir. Put that there. Blows, Captain, so that's 8 mil. Let's go and see how it looks on the job light. So, there she blows. Look at that 8 mil. See how it drops it down. Just looks so nice. Looks nice though. Level with the top there, running through, drop down with a recess. Lining up with the edge, we'll double check it obviously. I've just placed it if I can just film this bit like, but square and true. Nice and central on there ish. We'll sort that. That is the job's a good one, and I think we'll tack that one on, and then this is the one for the left top. Look, as we've marked it, LT left top, and it's got the same marks for the cutouts, so it'll be the same story. Get them tacked on. So, with those 2 top rails in and level and fucking everyone's happy, square and true, we can now look at these bottom ones which don't need the slice out that I think they don't need the slice out that I thought. They might need a little bit because they're nearly touching, but bear in mind that that's going to go up a bit, and because of the difference of the angle of the dangle, we have a big gap at the back and nothing at the front hook, so we'll take that same 8 mil cut, but we won't have so much sunk in at the back there, which is absolutely fine. So what I'm going to do is double check my notching on the fronts, get those lined up. I'll square up and off the table with that great big square look to get to here, like, to make sure, and eyeball it through, and then mark it for notching and do exactly what you've just seen me do. Only on the bottoms, not the tops. So those 4 are nicely tacked in place. We're dead square here. We're dead square there. We're parallel and following each other quite happily. So that is the bare bones of the rails in. Now, this point here is as far back as we can go. When it comes to the middle, we're going to make a plate or something. I'm going to have a think about that. That's going to brace that out. And then we need one across. Sorry, bad camera work. We need one across here. Look, one across here. And something for the shocker. So we're going to put a bit of box section in here, I think. Not sure. With a bit of plate and maybe another bit of tube. Just to get it peachy. So, with those in, look, we've had an offer and a tweak and a look. Now we know we need a bracing back here somewhere, and we know we need a bracing here somewhere. No further forward than that in the middle, and it's curved normally. We'll do a curved plate. So what I'm thinking is, we're going to do a couple of gussets. They're not really gussets, more flitch plates. We're going to do a couple of plates. Yeah, one there, and then one little one, nice little stumpy one there. That'll tie everything together nicely, and it'll give us a good flat surface for mounting whatever diameter tube we fancy. I mean, we could go with the inch, same as it is. Bear in mind, I don't think you're going to see it. I think the plate's going to cover it if we do a plate that big. We could go 1.25 inches, which is proper stonker, beefy. I won't go nowhere with that. Bear in mind that the shocker's going to mount on there, so it wants to be nice and sturdy. Let's have a plate. I know I want the plates. We'll make the plates, and then we'll look at the rest of it. So it's off to the mighty mini bandsaw to cut 4 plates, 2 at 7 inch, 2 at 4 inch. I was kind of hoping it would have dropped off by now to give you the fucking kapunk, but it's not, so I'm kind of invested now, ain't I? So I've got to stand here fucking waiting for it. You may as well, ain't you? Give it a squirt loop. Come on, you bastard. Come on, baby. Any minute now. Yeah. Right, with them cut and tacked together, we can mark the angle of the dangle, because obviously the swing arm's tapered. It's wider at the back than it is at the front, so in order for those to fit nice and straight, we need to taper them off. Now, I know that means the ends won't be square to this cut surface, but it don't matter because they're going to have a curve on them anyway. They're going bye-byes. The skinny end on this is joining, right in that join there, like so. It don't matter that it's not square because it's going to be reprofiled. What I'll do, I'll use a little bandsaw, okay, and I'll set it in horizontal, vertical mode, and I'll slice through there, I reckon. It'd be nicer for me than doing it with a cutting disc, but I won't bother filming it. Okie fucking dokey with them. Now, profiled, tapered off, and cooled off a bit actually. We have tack welded them together on the long sides now because that's going to go bye-byes. All I've done is get a bit of 2-inch tube, because that's in keeping with the job, like. Mark around it with a marker pen. We're going to clamp it on the old bench clamp, if I can do it one-handed, which I probably fucking can't. You clamp it on the old bench clamp, and then get the chop saw and the sander on it to profile it. Again, you don't need to see me doing that silly bollocks, do you? So next time you see that, it'll look prettier on the end. And after much chopping and fettling and what's that? Yeah, we have these, look, all nicely beveled and cleaned and contorted approximately to fit in the I can't show you, well, because I'm trying to do it one-handed. Oh, there we go. Somewhere in there, look. Somewhere a little like that. Actually, I think I prefer it a little like that. And then these are cold. I know these are cold. And then what I'll do, I'll measure. I'll split the difference, I think, between the end of the one here and the adjuster there, because if we put it there, you ain't going to get a fucking Allen key on the adjuster either. So that one is going to go somewhere in there, like fucking so, nice and square. I did think about drilling a relief hole in, but I think it's just unnecessary clutter. You're not really going to see it through there on this one, you know, on this front one, and on maximum strength there, thank you. I don't want it to drop on where I'm going to put a piece of tube across. And those ones, I don't really think they need it. I think it's just making it unnecessarily fucking nooks and crannies when it comes to finishing, whether whether you're painting it or fucking whatever like. And there we have them tacked in, look. Obviously they're taller than those, but they're not seen when it's all plated out. They're a standalone kind of size, and I didn't want them massive. I almost did them so they just fitted internally within the rails, but they would have been tighter than a fucking nun's gusset. You know, not sure. Yeah. So anyway, there's the start of the reinforcing that's going to allow us to do the monoshock up to the top there. That'll hold everything absolutely fucking peachy. Now we'll look at making some kind of top plate and putting tubes across, which we'll do first. We'll put tubes across first. I think we're going to go with 1.25 inches at the rear, because that's where the bulk of the shocker mount's going to be, and inch at the front, because that's right, the fucking thing's made out of. So yeah, whether or not we profile those, I don't know. We probably won't, because the plates will be profiled. So they'll come quite closely together. I wonder, I could even put a bit of backbone, couldn't I? A bit of inch and a half. Just fuck off, bit of inch and a half. Maybe. Maybe not. So, with those in place, we're now looking at doing a bit of CAD to make this plate that's going to support the shocker and the swing arm. We're going to replicate that kind of shape at the back. And the front's got to have a curve in it and come forward a bit, I think. This is, I've cut the cardboard a bit short, but we can make an addition. It's a lot easier than working with metal, because we've got masking tape and a fucking Stanley blade, haven't we? So what I'm going to do is mark up the inside with a marker pen, fold it in half and copy it out, and then we'll look at this curve shape and the little additions. I'm not 100% on the plate. It is massive, but the swing arm's massive, so there you go. Right, take 10. Fucking hell, we've had a few goes at this. That one was too narrow. That one I made a mistake with the cutout for the wheel. It didn't go, it went too far forward. This one is the Goldilocks one, because I think it's just right. A bit longer this side, because we need to miss that engine mount. That swing arm mount thing. Oh, don't even get started on that. And that is going to go a little something like that. That'll take the shocker, etc. I think looking at it, we want to be close to here for the brace that goes across, because that's where the shocker mount's going to come. I can either put 2 in, which are going to be quite close together, but that's not bad. 1 in, that thicker stuff, which again ain't bad. I'm erring on the side of 2 rails, but one will be more than strong enough, in fairness, like by the time that fucking plate's on. It ain't going to go anywhere. You could probably get away with just the plate, but we wouldn't want to do that, like. Righto, she's a chunk. There we are in position. What I've decided is that is stronger than a fucking strong thing. That's tougher than a minibus full of Millwall fans coming back from an away day defeat. So we don't need fucking anything too fancy underneath. I think 1.25 inches. If I put 2 inch in, it's starting to get a bit cluttered and it's already fucking chunky. So I'm going to go for 1 bit of 1.25 inches across the back end ish. Yeah, and then we can pick that up from underneath. The plate can weld to it. If we get it right, like, that'll be happy days, I reckon. Right, look, so I'm holding this and I'm not set up. I've got it banked, oh, I've not now, dropped it, I've moved it, but anyway, this is going to go in nice and square, following that square line across the bench, like that, but square, and level with the top of these plates, because that's where the top plate's going to go, and that means that we can weld the top plate from underneath to this, which is going to make it fucking extra strong. So I'll get that tacked in off camera, get the plate tacked in off camera, and then we can look at doing the shocker mounts, can't we? Happy days. Like fucking so, and like fucking so. That is happy days. Right, let's get this shocker dummied up and see about hanging it off something here, beefing this up, hanging it off something here, and having a nice little bit of something there for it, like, ain't it? Sorted. So we have the CAD, and we've transferred that over to the steel. I've just got to sand that smooth, yeah, and that's going to fit in there, like fucking so. We have made a decision. We had Mr. Clint was here the day before, because I was doing something else yesterday, and because of the clearance, the lack of clearance for that top eye bolt, where it's going to run through the side here, it's going to run through there. What we've done is we've turned that 90 degrees, so that can now bolt flat in there, and that can bolt traditionally through there. So what I'm going to do is finish making that plate off camera, and then we're going to spin up a threaded boss that's going to get TIG welded into it, that our shocker's going to mount on there. I reckon that'll be just sweet. Then we'll have plenty of access. As soon as the seat comes up, you can get to the top shocker bolt. Everything will be sweet. We'll plate this up a bit as well. We'll beef all that up while we're at it and get those bottom mounts made. And then we'll be there, boys. Then we'll be fucking there. Righto, folks. So we're over at the mighty Meddings. The eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed that off camera we've replaced this with a bit of thicker plate. We've gone from just over 3 mil to 4 top, so we've almost doubled it, like. Because it needs to not jam up like that. Well, that's not going to hold it very well, is it? Let's get a clamp on it or something better, and then we'll drill it through. Right, here we go, little clamp there, look. Just as a stop, and away she goes. It still sounded fucking awful. It was like quite a mass in the pit in here, everything fucking vibrating and shaking and fucking falling over. Right, with that plate done, let's cut ourselves a chunk of this 30mm EN3, and then we can head over to the lathe, can't we, and turn us up a nice little boss to weld in that bracket. Right, so with that chucked up, we can face it off. Nice and gentle. This is 32mm bar, not 30mm bar, so we need to turn it down. Is that faced up? Yeah. Right, we need to turn it down to 30mm, so if my DRO's anywhere near where I thought it was, let's have a cut and see where we are. We'll quick clean up. It should be about 31 and a half. And we want 30mm. So we'll stop it there. We'll check it here. X equals 31.25. I'll just change my meter, hold on. X is 31.25. 1.25. Enter. And we want 30. According to the rough draft, don't we? Which is somewhere about there. So we'll send that down for 33mm. Methinks. 15.5 chunker. Oh no, it needs to be chunker. Yeah. The way she blows then, Captain. Any minute now. 31, 34. That is, that's planner. And now this end bit needs turning down to 25 for 16. So we're going to go from 30 to 27 and a half, which is there. And we'll go along 16, which is coming up any minute. Well, not any minute, pretty soon. 15 point something. There we go. There. And now down to 25. Which is there. We'll just take it up to that shoulder. The tolerances are massive. We just need a nice big chunky boss. I might even thin it down a bit on the back. I'm not sure about having it out fucking thick now, I've seen it. We'll be right. So, like so. Break those edges. Just tickle that one because we're going to be welding around it. We don't need weld prep. I'm going to tick it onto the plate. And we can get ready to cut an M12 thread up his bum. Okay, fucking okay. So, as always, we'll give it a dab of lube because that's what separates us from the animals. And we'll peck away at it with this centre drill just to get started before we come in with the tapping size for M12. Like so. Oh, that's nice and sharp, isn't it? We want to go, I have had a rethink, we're going 26mm for the part. I'm going to spin it round and fucking tap it actually. Yeah, 26mm for the part plus the cut of the parting off tool. Gives us 29, so we'll go 30 in a bit. I'll give us plenty of depth. Quick jumper. Like fucking so. Before we come in to part it off, I've decided that that is going to be 10mm. You're right in my fucking way. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, just zero me readout and go along 13. Fucking see. Oh yeah, 13.25 is there. Let me just lock off my bed, off camera, and then we send it. Smoky Joe's. Definitely. Come on, baby. Any minute now. Boosh. Cheers then. Thanks for coming. Righto. Just trace that off. Hold on, get rid of that. Oh, boosh. Cheers then. Touch on there. Go along 0.25. Not that it's absolutely fucking crucial, but send that to face it off. Like so. Switch that out for my chamfer tool. Bear with. Here we go. Coming right up. Give it a quick chamfer. Like that. And then with this a chamfer. Like that. Ready to take the thread. Right, regular readers will know the ongoing woes of holding taps in this collet holder to tap them in the lathe. What's been happening is that's been spinning in the fucking tailstock quill. So I bought a new one and it's not gripping. It's the same collets and everything, but it's not gripping tight enough. Fuck me, you couldn't make it up, could you? Now the tap's spinning. It's been alright so far, but this is a bit of a big boy. M12. Relatively big boy, I suppose. But we've had to prop it. Look, now that's fucking up. It's just, what's it all about? What the fuck is going on? I think I need a machine tap. I think that's what I need. To be fair, like, let's sneak up on it. See what this does. Come on, baby. Yes, look at that. We'll order one in. That'll do for now. Cut a lovely thread, I'm sure. Let's have it away. There we go. Give it a good blow off. And the job's a fucking fish. So that kind of sits like that on this bracket, which then goes in the frame tube. I'm thinking fat side up or inside up, don't really matter. Fat side up, I like. I'm just going to tack it with a TIG. Because I'm not sure of the angle of the dangle. This needs to sit parallel, it needs to clamp up flat to the shocker, and the angle of that's going to be determined by where it sits on here. Look, I've got a little 10mm plate there just to space it up, so I can have a look see. I'll get a couple of tacks on and then see if how it fits. Like, let the dog see the rabbit. Right, that's all welded up. We've checked it and that sits nice on the plate. The plate's not quite right in the frame. Excuse me. Oh, God. So I might have to trim it up a little bit. I've already trimmed it a bit, but I thought I'd weld it, let it cool off, I'll have a quick brew, and then we can clamp it back on here, bolt it back on here, offer it up, and hopefully get it tacked in place. Okay, boys, quick addition. We've just put a couple of gussets, they are gussets, in there, just to give it some extra woof. So that is the top, made and tacked up. Well, that's TIG welded in, that boss, obviously. That's finished welded, but the rest ain't. So we're just two little bottom brackets away from it being fitted. Look, there we go. Just space that up a little bit. I will cardboard template and cut out a couple of brackets off camera because this video is getting long enough, and you've seen me fucking about with that shit enough. So yeah, by the power of TV, we'll get them done. Here we go then. So we've got a bit of CAD. It's going to sit on there. We may well shape it at the back where that black is, and we've roughed out a couple of bits of flat that we've welded together. We've left them unshaped, if you like, so we can clamp it easier when we drill it. And I'm just going to drill that out 12mm, profile this, put a curve on there, make them match each other, and then clean this off a bit, ready for them to be tacked in place. And here we are. There, that's all, folks. So we've got that sweepies on the back. You can see a bit of masking tape. There's a couple of layers of masking tape on the inside of these plates because they're going to fucking move a bit and tighten up. They always do. So we've negated that with a bit of a masking tape packer each side. We've boxed the arse end of it in with a nice little curve to emulate the nice little curves everywhere else. And that is the fucking swing arm. Let me grab a fucking screenshot if I can. Hold on. That is the swing arm pretty much done. I will be welding it up slightly more heavily here and there, but I'm not going to weld it up completely. None of this is welded up completely. We've just got a few decent tacks and stitches here and there because I want to get it all together in one piece. Just in. But I'm going to call that a wrap. I'm going to call that one twin rail swing arm with a direct monoshock to put a V-rod wheel in a rigid fucking Sportster. Sorry, a swing arm Sportster, monoshock Sportster, even. Fuck me. You know what I mean, ain't it? Sorted. So there you fucking go. It's all over by the shouting. Yeah. It just leaves me as always to say, if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up, consider subscribing or joining the channel even. And to thank you for watching, it really means a lot to me. Check out all the bump in the description below. And next time, I should have my teeth back. Fucking hell, happy days. Robert Redford, eat your heart out. See you later, everyone. Big love.